Okay. Go ahead.
Okay. Good morning. We are the strategic working team for HIT. I'm Andy, and here are Sing, Frank, and Tony. Today we are going to present our strategic plan for HIT in an attempt to balance its business portfolio and maintain its competitive edge. As we all know that HIT, with 65% of the market share in the quoting market, has established its market dominance in Hong Kong by taking on no-tariff cargoes. And traditionally, HIT relies much on import-export business, but this business model collapses when China opened its ports to international trade in 1994, because ports in Shenzhen are providing even lower tariff cargo services than it can ever be provided in Hong Kong. Seeing that Hong Kong actually has a geographical advantage as a transshipment hub, HIT promptly reacts to this problem by shifting much of its capacity from import-export business to transshipment. This method has sustained the growth of HIT, but then it also creates new challenges. On one hand, the firm has too much cargo to handle given its rapid increase in transshipment throughput. On the other hand, competitions all over the world are still posing much threats to HIT. So, in order to solve this problem, we will have to identify and also to utilize the comparative advantage of HIT. We will use a SWOT analysis to identify this advantage. For the strength of the company, HIT has a lot of logistic elites. Also, HIT possesses a lot of high-end technologies like they use RFID for inventory control. However, HIT suffers from high labor and capital costs. And also, there is not much space for expansion in Hong Kong. Moreover, competitors all over the world are posing threats to HIT. Fortunately, there are two important opportunities for HIT. First, as Hong Kong is actually an excellent location for transshipment, so we can expect that the transshipment throughput of HIT will continue to increase stably, at least for the next few years. Another thing is that HIT is under the HPH group, which provides a lot of valuable partners for HIT to cooperate with. In particular, our sister firm, YICT in Shenzhen, can provide a lot of cheap laborers to compensate for the high labor costs in HIT. So next, Frank will discuss about our proposed business strategy based on these opportunities.
So thank you, Andy. After knowing what the strengths and weaknesses of HIT company has, I would like to introduce our strategic plan that I would like to propose to you. And our strategic plan basically have the very simple goal. That is to turn our weaknesses into our new strength. And to do that, we would like to firstly propose the short-term strategies, which is the strategies that we would like to carry out within this year to 2013. And first of all, although one of the weaknesses is we have the limited space, even though we cannot increase the number of the area of the space we have, we can always make the land use more efficient. That is maybe to separate the area used by transshipment and also that used by import and export. We can always have a more efficient land use in order to increase the number of cargo that we can handle. And also apart from that, we also have to balance the demand between the high yield import and export cargo and that of the lower yield transshipment cargo. Because the demand of transshipment cargo is that large, we would like to increase this ratio from the existing 4 to 6 further to 3 to 7, maybe in a few months, and to a target goal of 2 to 8, which is to increase the number of percentage of transshipment cargo. And for long term, we would like to propose a strategy that would like to take place within a few years. And first of all, we would like to introduce the virtual control scheme. Because the strength that the HIT have is the high quality human capital and also the advanced technology that we possess. Whereas our sister company, the YICT terminal in Shenzhen, has different advantages compared to us. They have cheaper labor and also they have cheaper land. And therefore we can cooperate and use our own advantages. We are going to cooperate with YICT, and most of the import-export cargo will be carried out in Shenzhen, the YCT terminal, whereas most of the transshipment cargo will be handled back in the HIT, the Kuiqing terminal. And the HIT will provide the managing team and also the technology that is necessary, whereas the YCT will provide cheap labors and also a large number of lands. And whereas the number of the area of the terminal in Hong Kong is remaining constant, we're also expecting there's an annual 4% increase in the total number of cargo handled by the HIT company. And also in the future, we're also expecting a 10% of our cargo will be handled by other terminals in China, such as Guangzhou and also Ningbo, through the virtual control scheme. Also, another 10% will be handled by other countries in Asia Pacific, such as Busan and also Singapore. So we are virtually using this terminal, controlling this terminal through this scheme. And I'm going to talk about what are the key elements that we have already implemented that allow us to achieve our strategic plan. The first of all is because the HIT is one of the most productive and also one of the most efficient terminals in the whole world. We can handle multiple vessels at the same time without causing any troubles. And also, the whole terminal, the operation is handled by a scheme called NGEN, the next generation terminal management system, which determines how the ships are arrived, loaded and unloaded, how the trucks arrive through our terminal and leave. So this system ensures that all of the cargo are handled in a very smooth manner. And also, over these years, our logistics team has won numerous awards in Hong Kong, and their efficiency is very much guaranteed. And also, as mentioned by Andy before, our management team consists of a lot of elites that are graduated from top universities, not only in Hong Kong, but also from many parts of the world. This is the key elements that ensure our success and also ensures that we can always strike our strategic plan. And now I'll hand over the time to Tony to talk about our support system that further back up our plan. Tony, please.
Besides those internal factors, we also have external factors to support our system, which is we are all under the HPH group, so that we have many sister companies to cooperate with us all over the world. Especially in Shenzhen, we have YICT, and also we have many sister companies in North America, China, and Latin America, and all over the world. So, with the internal factors and external factors combined together, how can we create a good implementation details? Our core values is to cooperate the HPH group together into one system against other competitors. That means we can get benefit through it so that we can develop without product by the high labor cost and high rent cost. And also we can develop without geographic distance. Let's take Sony as an example. Sony, the decline of Sony, this great giant in mobile industry, is due to the direct competitions among its department. So, with these implementations, the HPH can maximize their strength in different departments and cooperate together to achieve the highest benefit. Let's see the organizational structure. We will first act as a brain of the China, and then we will spread over the world to act as a system to achieve high profits. So, after hearing so many abstract ideas of implementation, we will be curious about the detailed implementation schedule. Andy will speak more about it.
Thank you, Tony. To ensure a smooth transition from our existing business model to the new one, then we will propose a 5-year strategy for implementing our plan. We will focus on our short-term strategy on the first 2 years and then gradually shift to our long-term strategy, that is the virtual control model, in the remaining 3 years. For the first 2 years, we will gradually shift our capacity from import-export basis to transshipment, as mentioned before. And then for the 2 years, we will also provide some trainings for laborers in the import-export basis for them to be adapted to the transshipment operations so that they can have there will be enough manpower to satisfy the demand for the increased transshipment throughput. So after that, HIT should start cooperating with partners in mainland China, in particular YICT as mentioned before, so as to be prepared for implementing our long-term strategy. With partners in China, then HIT's capacity will be increased quite a lot. So we can start finding customers all over the world, and then we can launch our pilot run of the virtual control system. This pilot run will last for 2 to 3 years, and then its effectiveness will be evaluated at the end of the period. So if everything goes well, then we will shift to virtual control system completely. However, if the result differs too much from our financial forecast, then we will have to use our contingency plan. So Sing will discuss more about our financial plan and contingency plan.
Thank you, Andy. According to our strategic plan, in the first 2 years, mainly we are going to adjust the ratio of capacity between transshipment and import-export. And as we are going to reduce the proportion reserved for import-export, the tariff will go up because supply has decreased. So that the revenue coming from import-export will not drop dramatically. On the other hand, we have reserved more capacity for the transshipment, so that's we are gaining more money from the transshipment. So that's, as you can see, in 2012 and 2013, the profit, when comparing to the profit we do nothing at all, has increased by about 100 to 200 million. And in 2014, as mentioned by Andy before, the pilot one of virtual control scheme will start, and revenue will come from Shenzhen and other ports we cooperated with. So that the profit has again increased more. And in 2016, which the profit exceeds 2.5 billion, which is about $1 billion more than that if we do nothing at all. So you have know about the financial benefits of our strategic plan. Now, let's take a look on the risks behind it so that you can make an appropriate decision whether to adopt our plan. First of all, we have made 3 major changes to the company in our strategic plan, namely increasing the proportion of transshipment, reducing the proportion of import-export, and starting the virtual control scheme. Well, when we increase the proportion of transshipment, there is a risk that the demand on transshipment is less than that we expected, which means that there may be some capacity waste, and which will cost us a lot. On the other hand, when we reduce the proportion for import-export, the revenue may decrease because, as you know, import-export used to be a very profitable operation in our company. What is more, when we reduce the capacity reserved for import-export, we may not be able to keep up with our usual level of standard, which means that we may have a chance of losing our customer and hurt our reputation. Well, and for the virtual control scheme, one of the major benefits is that the labor cost in mainland China is lower than that in Hong Kong. However, you may be aware that the inflation problem in mainland China is quite serious, which means that the labor cost may increase in the coming years, and which may not be expected, and which, in this case, virtual control scheme may not be as profitable as we originally forecast. Okay, so what if this worst scenario happens? So we have made some contingency plan to cope with these risks. Well, we will maintain a flexible ratio between transshipment and import-export, so that if the demand of transshipment